Drivers, start your Windows CPUs. Since its inception, the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series has been a hot topic for the mainstream eye. So much so that Fox has placed this on their main network. Now, if only my local Fox affiliate would get the memo. Now, I'll say this, I'm not much of a video game guy, nor have I really explored iRacing. So I came into this series as a total outsider. Nonetheless, I've watched the past 3 weeks, and we're going to look at the good, bad, and the ugly of the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series. The maiden voyage for this series came on the virtual shores of Miami, Florida. This marked as the first NASCAR-sanctioned race in track history to not take place during the month of November. From the drop of the green flag, I was impressed by the look and feel of these races. I mean, for the most part, the animation and crash physics gave me the impression of an actual race. Nothing to where a slight nudge can send you airborne like the Heat games. It also ended with a door-to-door simulated battle between two Daytona 500 gladiators. Much like current NASCAR, the driver with the most expensive rig won the race. Denny delivered, giving us the most iconic celebration in Pro Invitational history.
Yes!
Language!
On the flip side, Dale Earnhardt Jr. came up feet short of winning the inaugural Pro Invitational race. Even in the virtual world, heartbreak continues to torment and tantalize Jr. and his fanbase. Gotta applaud those real to virtual parallels. Albeit, Dale Jr. himself is actually a pretty damn good sim racer. So good in fact that he can drive a car with one hand on the wheel. Looking at the virtual schedule, a Sweet Home Alabama homecoming may just be the place where he can akin back to the NASCAR Thunder days. Race number 2 would take place on the animated Texas Motor Speedway, a place unanimously loved by NASCAR fans, specifically the ones that love Rockingham and North Wilkesboro. Will this hug the white line and don't spin out style of racing excel in eSports? Turns out quite yes. You had 14 lead changes through only 125 laps of competition. That's about half of what you see in a 500-mile race. Plus, knocking the rust off the week prior and allowing less resets really made for a legitimate race. William Byron seemed poised to return the Flames to victory, but that would be extinguished by Timmy Hill's front bumper. After years upon years of misery, he finally captured his first NASCAR-sanctioned victory. With the equal equipment you see in iRacing, Timmy Hill has showcased what skill levels he can bring to a competitive ride. He's been consistently up front, even boasting an insane average finish of 2.3. Just maybe this can warrant a part-time audition at, say, RCR when this is all said and done. Meanwhile, like St. Louis and professional football, Daniel Suarez has practiced social distancing in his Pro Invitational starts. 2 career races, both times he was parked for reckless driving. Texas had to be one of the most cringe-worthy wreck attempts I've ever seen in my lifetime, awfully reminiscent to the days of Danica Patrick. Fortunately for this scenario, there was a scapegoat in his dog Emma. Then a dust-up with Kyle Larson got him benched once again. It's up in the air at this point whether he gets invited back to the next race at Richmond. Anyways, the third cross-country trip around the iRacing map took us to Bristol. Unlike its counterpart, there were actually spectators and sunshine aplenty. On the racetrack, however, I've gotta say this, the quality and competitiveness sucked in this race. No virtual PJ1 was applied by the virtual crew. And as a result, you get a mid-2010s Bristol where the high line is critical. Chase Elliott also had his career worst incident, one of the most violent crashes I've ever seen at the world's fastest half mile. Fortunately, he posted a Twitter from his basement, a sign to virtual safety workers that he is okay. There were so many wrecks in fact that iRacing went to single file restarts, one step towards completely reverting back to the good old days. And throughout this video, I barely touched on William Byron. You know that pesky PC character that never makes any mistakes? That's been William Byron in this Invitational series. His stat line has been crazy insane, but that's not surprising considering he cut his teeth on iRacing. His complete drubbing of the field at Bristol, meanwhile, was something else. As much as I love the current design, Axalta should probably race that paint scheme in real life. You know, reality has truly been a beach for Eric Jones, and that is translated into the sim world. During the Food City Showdown, that Jones boy made some history after a dramatic shortage of bars. Because of that, the Stanley Tools Toyota retired on lap 14, thus becoming the first NASCAR driver to DNF due to internet issues. Unlike other mechanical issues you see in NASCAR, this one should be a simple solution to fix. Order a new router off of Best Buy, go to the curbside pickup, and there you go, good as new. Considering that we've had an off week, I expect Eric Jones to be more competitive at Richmond. So, how's the defending NASCAR Cup champion doing? Unfortunately, Kyle Busch hasn't drubbed the field to warrant the Kyle Busch eRacing America label. But honestly, he's making strides in his young pro invitational career. He's gradually qualified better and better through every passing week. And Bristol, he was a top 10 contender before crashing in the closing laps. All the mobilized M&M's Toyota Camry needs to do is put together some complete races. I mean, at least he's been semi-competitive in the early going. Cup champions Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, and Brad Keselowski have pretty much been irrelevant in the early going. It just goes to show there is differences between iRacing and the real thing itself. Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson has found his own niche to stay relevant in his halted retirement tour.
Okay, here we go.
You have hit a wall.
Shouldn't be this hard, should it?
You have hit a wall.
I can do it, okay? Whoa, 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 whoa!
You have jumped a barrier. You have crashed. You have crashed.
Are you all right?
You have crashed.
I've crashed.
Then you probably have the ugliest moment of them all. After getting boyered on lap 30, Bubba Wallace channeled his inner gamer by rage quitting the race. This was an action not taken very kindly by sponsor Blue Emu. The company publicly roasted Bubba on social media, stating they don't sponsor quitters. That's right, we live in a timeline where rage quitting a video game can lose you sponsorships. For me, honestly, that's one of the biggest problems with iRacing and video games as a whole. You have a select few that don't take the races seriously. On the other hand though, then there's people like this.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of spending the $20 a month just for you idiots to wreck me.
Dude, you should probably learn how to drive before you spend your money.
Bottom line, there's a massive gray area between legitimacy and racing just for fun. Now, the Fox broadcast has done a superb job of blending the two. That and then the NASCAR stars in iRacing have gained a positive reputation for the Invitational Series. But then what happens when real racing resumes? iRacing won't be getting the NASCAR and Fox commentators or the superstars they have now. I mean, you might have William Byron, Timmy Hill, and Garrett Smithley, but what's the incentive to watch after that? I doubt myself and others will continue on with NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and trucks at our disposal. Those are some of the questions that have already been beaten to death and are a month or two in the league's future. Nonetheless, I've enjoyed the racing and for the most part a lack of drama. I mean, at least none of the drivers have channeled their inner pee-wee middle schooler.
I can see it. You can't hear me? Hey.
So anyways, this is NRF signing out, and just remember, life's a beach and then you drive.